Weights and Downer. You or someone you know has lost the ability to earn a living because someone put the company interests before their well-being. In times like these, there's one firm who has handled hundreds of catastrophic and lost earning cases. Before you settle fast with a company's attorney, give Weights and Downer a call. 985-876-0870. Weights and Downer. Let us fight for your rights.
All right, you want to stick around for this one because Deuce Luke is at college. We're going to have him at UL, and he's in the UL Life program. There you see Miss Jade Viator, who's the director of that program. She is with him today. We have a great show in store for you. We're going to ask Deuce a few questions. Have a little fun on The Deuce is Loose. All right, we are back, and what a great day it is because via Zoom, we have Deuce Luke, who's standing by. We haven't seen Deuce in a while, so it's good to see Deuce is at college, but we have Ms. Jade Viator. She is the director of the UL Life program, and me and Ms. Jade were talking about one of her former students, Matthew Molizon. I'm dear friends with the family, so I know what a great job you all do at the UL Life program, and thank both of you for joining us. This is going to be fun. So, Deuce, you ready?
It's definitely going to be fun, and I'm very excited. And I believe Miss Jade's excited as well. Mm-hmm. And we are just having so much fun together.
All right. So, Deuce, let me start with you. I appreciate you wearing that HTV shirt, but next week I want to see you with that UL shirt, that ULL.
You got it, boss.
There we go. All right. So, let's talk. First of all, how's college life?
Oh, it's been amazing. I've never been so happy.
Well, tell me about it. Tell me some of the things you've been doing.
Well, I've been going to a karate club. I've also went into a D&D club. I'm also looking into a gaming club, which is actually going to be pretty cool because there's actually an esports team here, and I'm going to get better into it.
Okay. Now, I know there's always an adjustment period when people switch jobs or they do certain things. And Deuce, when you left home and you went to Lafayette and you went to college, how's the adjustment been for you?
To be honest, it was rough at first. But once I get settled in, I believe I'm starting to get used to it.
All right. Well, good. It always takes a little time. Trust me. So I want you to talk about Miss Jade a little bit because she is a director, and I know she's doing a great job. So I want you in your own words to introduce her to our audience.
All right. Well, Miss Jade is the director and leader of the Life program. She helps out with any classes. She's also a teacher, and she's an amazing teacher and an amazing one at that.
Well, good.
And I wouldn't be here if she wasn't here.
Well, that's fantastic. So, Ms. Jade, you got a thumbs up from Deuce. That's a good thing, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So what kinds of things does the Life program do? Can you sort of fill me in on, I know certain aspects of it, but of course I'm not there every day to see it. So what are some of the things that the Life program does?
We have classes that are taught within our program that are functional academic classes. So students are taking those. And then we also have classes that the students are taking within the university. So they are auditing UL classes of their own interest. And then we have internships. Deuce isn't at that point yet, but his sophomore year, he'll do internships. And that is very much, based around what his career goals are. And then outside of all those academics and all of that good stuff, we have lots and lots of fun activities and social events on campus, outside in Lafayette, like within the community. We really think it's important to do that part of, life, like getting social and embedded in the community. There's, all the school stuff and then all the fun stuff outside of it as well.
So do the classes themselves, you talk about life. So Deuce is adjusting right now to the college life. So are those classes sort of geared to properly get them in tune to what they're about to go through?
Yeah. So, for example, some of our life classes, actually one that Deuce is taking right now is personal finance. So very functional on, handling your own finances and getting adjusted to having to manage some of that. And not your basic algebra 101. So really things that you're going to use in the real world and that are, geared towards our students so that it's benefiting them. Another example would be career readiness. So really finding what a student is wanting their career, their future to look like. And we're kind of figuring out their path. And so then we can follow that path with the student, while they're in the program.
This is great to hear. And I know that different people come from all over Louisiana. So is the UL Life program, is it mostly Lafayette students, or do we see a sprinkling from everywhere?
Yes, we've actually grown to out of state as well. So we don't say we're pretty much across the state as a whole, but then we also have a couple out of state students. So we've kind of expanded our visibility because programs like us in general are all over the country at this point. There's over, I think, 330, 340, maybe even closer to 350 at this point in the country. And so it's kind of, becoming more known and awareness of it's growing. So students in our program, we have across the state and we have a couple from out of state as well.
Yeah, Miss J, where are you from?
I'm from New Iberia.
All right, close by, pretty close.
Yes, sir.
You were a Yellow Jacket, huh?
No, well, my parents were, but I went to Catholic High.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I got that one wrong, but I was so familiar, with both schools, really, yeah.
Yes, I have family that work at Nish right now, so we're still very close-knit with all of that. All
right, and as we go to a break, Deuce, you're familiar with the breaks. Well, we have a couple of them, but I want you, before we go to the break, to tell me what Miss Jade and what Miss Caroline do for the Life program.
Well, Miss Jade is the one who organizes the events, and Miss Caroline is like in second in command of someone.
All right. So you got your general and your first lieutenant. They're going to get it done,
you got that right?
All right. So Deuce, as we go to the break, the progression, you're sort of getting used to it a little bit, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, good. Let's take our first break. We're going to come right back with Deuce and Miss Jade. Deuce is in college, and he's coming to us on the Deuce's Leuce. We'll be right back. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, we're back. The Deuce's Leuce. This is our first show with Deuce Luke, and he is in Lafayette. He's at the UL Life program. There you see Deuce in the picture, and you see Miss Jade Viator. She is the director of the UL Life program. And I tell you what, I've heard so much about it. Very impressed with it. Like I said, I heard a lot from the Molizons who love the program. And I tell you what, I watched Matthew Molizon just, we called him Matt. We don't call him Matt anymore. We call him Matthew. He's graduated into the name, and he just blossomed. And that college life really, it just, you watched him from that first year to the last thing, he just blossomed, I guess is a good word. So Deuce, how was the bowling alley? I'm curious about the bowling alley.
The bowling alley, it was actually interesting, I should say. I went to some arcades. I played the Walking Dead arcade game, which was honestly kind of fun.
Yeah, so that's right up your alley, all those games and all this stuff. Is it a lot of things? Let me ask you, when you go into the arcades, I used to go in them and I'd hear all this noise and everything. And me and you have talked about this before. Did you adjust pretty well to the atmosphere?
Yes, it did.
Okay, and what was your favorite game in there?
Well, the only game I could have played at the time was basically the Walking Dead game, so that was my favorite.
All right,
I
very good.
also played some other games like Jurassic Park, and there were some other ones which I could have played, but then I chose not to because I was on a time crunch.
I got you. All right. But that's important you said that, because I'm sure Miss Jade and everybody there is into making Deuce manage his time. Is that one of the things you're learning about college?
Oh yes, indeed. I have been keeping track of my time in here, while also trying to learn more about time scheduling and also trying to learn how to manage my time wisely.
Yeah. And Miss Jade, as you listen in to that particular question, is this one of the things that y'all really put in the forefront, is to have them sort of take over their own schedule with a little help, but sort of manage their time?
Yes, so that is a really big part of, some of the skills that we're, introducing the students to. We use a certain app that is really beneficial to helping a student kind of have the autonomy and manage their schedule, with some added supports on our end, kind of on the back end when creating the schedules. But it's really something students learn in. We have a full time management class that we offer, but students are learning that skill long before they even take that class within our program, because they are, managing their day-to-day, getting to class on time, learning new resources and tools. If we're struggling to get to class on time, we're, supporting them in that aspect. And then, all the decisions that a student's making throughout the day, we kind of forget all the things that we're doing, and having to decide down to, do I have enough time to get a snack in between classes? Or do I have to stay here for my break, rather than go across campus? So it's something the students, for like Deuce, tend to learn pretty early on, how to manage their time pretty wisely. And then we offer the class their sophomore year that really gets into the details and the real big aspects of time management. So it's definitely something kind of we subconsciously are teaching even before they have a class on it.
So, Ms. Jade, you have to be sort of like an air traffic controller.
Very much so.
What got you involved in this particular curriculum? Can you maybe set the scene for our audience? Because first of all, thank you. It takes very, very special people to handle these types of programs. And I know you get a lot out of it reward-wise when you see a student really bloom. But what got you involved in this?
So I did my master's program here at UL for the Masters of Arts in Teaching. And so my concentration was special ed, and there was a graduate assistantship open actually with this program and my advisor thought I would be really interested in. And so I always say that was kind of just a blessing in disguise that there was an opening. The program had been around for 3 years, and so it was very, very new. And very small at the time. And so that kind of got my foot into the door. And I am glad I never left, and I never had to, because it just presented more and more opportunities. Once I started student teaching, I did that and then came right back to the program full time because they were looking for an academic coordinator. And so someone to teach the life classes. So I got more involved with the academic side of it. And then, kind of, a few years went by. I say a few. That was in 17, and then 19 full time, and then this past. Sorry, my years are getting confused now. So last fall, I was interim director of the program, and then in March became the official director, as our former director had moved on to open up something else to support this population. And so it kind of was just a lot of things falling into place. But once I was introduced to the concept of the program, there was no getting me to leave, I don't think. I just really enjoyed it, and I loved what it was doing. And then also, like I mentioned, there's so many programs in the country We also have 9 in the state at this point. So to see that grow has been like something I'm really passionate about, is looking and, trying to figure out how more programs can be developed, and just like promoting the programs around the state and the country, so that more people have the opportunity to, go to college.
Let me ask you, Deuce, are you drinking a lot of coffee at college? Did you make a grocery run? Tell me some of the things you're doing that you didn't do in Houma.
Well, first, Nashid, while I was sick one time, I had to drink some tea.
Okay.
It was actually an interesting taste. I'm not sure if I like it or dislike it, but it was interesting. But I did do a grocery one time, well, a few times actually. In fact, I had to do some grocery runs. In fact, I also had to go to the pharmacist to get some medicine because I was not feeling so well. And not to mention the hurricane. I also know that you did a good job advising people on there. Very good job for you and good thing.
Oh,
I also
thank you.
survived my first hurricane season, so how about that, huh?
Yeah. Sound like Miss Jade that he's rolling in just from your perspective, because I want to hear it from the director's perspective. A generalized kind of thing for students coming in like Deuce is that they come in. I'm sure there's apprehension. I'm sure I was apprehensive when I first got on LSU's campus and I realized it was a small city that I was looking at. And I was going, oh my God, what did I get into? But once you get used to it, things start flourishing.
Yeah.
Talk about
I
that a little bit.
definitely-
How did Deuce grab onto it?
Yeah, I think the things he just mentioned that he kind of had to face in the first couple of weeks, and all of our students, are things or experiences that definitely help kind of get your feet wet, and we kind of have no choice. So, for instance, at the hurricane, the students were having to figure out if they were going home, if they were staying, what was the safer option. For Deuce, it was safe for you to stay in your dorm,
Right.
And then a lot of the students were figuring out, did you need to go to the grocery before things might have been closed, or did you have enough in your dorm, and when to eat, when was lockdown. So kind of all of those things were new experiences that you may not have had otherwise.
Yeah, and also another thing is that whenever I did go to the grocery store, I try to grab all the bare essentials that I need, like my medication, some food, and some batteries and stuff like that, including well, they didn't really have much there,
Yeah.
but I did manage to grab some stuff.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
that was a good-
that's all good
yeah.
stuff. What I want to do, we're going to take our second break. We're going to come back and wrap things up with Deuce and Miss Jade. We'll have some final questions. And it's good to see that we led up on all these shows to Deuce going to college. Right now, he's at college. And he's with his director, Miss Jade. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
All right, we're back, and Deuce Luke is at college. This is our show to educate people, special needs, autism, and we started out with Deuce many shows ago, and he's at college now, so we're catching up with Deuce Luke, and that's Miss Jade Viator, his director at the UL Life program. So, Deuce, let me ask you, do you have mentors to help you out? Tell me a little bit about that.
So mentors are where there are people helping you, and when the people helping you, they'll help you out with like some like grocery runs, or like schoolwork or even homework for that matter. And they'll help you out with, trying to get your stuff in order and all, trying to piece together everything that you need to do.
All right. What kind of classes do you have, Deuce? Tell me a little bit about the classes.
Well, I have a University 100 class, a personal finance class, and let's see, sex ed. I have sex ed.
Okay. Do you have
Oh, and
homework?
independent living.
Do they give you a lot of homework, or do you have to do most of it in class?
Well, there are not a lot of homework. No. In fact, I barely even have homework, which is also a good thing for me. But whenever it does have to come to homework, I'll try to get full gear in it.
All right. So one of the most important questions I'm going to ask you, Deuce, is that how was the first laundry trip?
The first laundry trip. Now, I had to ask my parents about that. It was also pretty hard since they were like at the camp stuff. But it wasn't that bad whenever I figured it out.
So you learned, and so look, I know that's a breakthrough for a lot of people that go to college, but that's when you start figuring out that, okay, I'm on my own, but I got this, and you start progressing, and you take little steps at a time. And Miss Jade, let me ask you this: do you sort of watch the students, and you see them reach little milestones, and then their confidence builds, and they go a little further, and their confidence builds again? It's a stepping stone, isn't it?
Absolutely. So we see it on our end, but we're so used to seeing it at this point. It's really amazing to hear back from parents when they start to see it, because we know it's going to happen. We always remind everyone they're going to grow more than you ever expect. They're making so many decisions on their own. They're doing all of the things, a traditional college student is doing: laundry, eating in the, around campus, learning campus, to the point that I'm used to noticing it. It's amazing still for every student. But it's great to hear back from parents when students come home for the first weekend, or they come visit the students on campus, and they're seeing how much the student has grown or how independent the student seems after only a month or two. And that's what's really rewarding, is hearing the parents say, like, wow, you said it was going to happen, but I'm really seeing it now. They're making their own plans. They met me here, and I didn't even realize they knew campus that well. Things like that. So that's a really cool thing to see.
When boys become men, right?
Mm-hmm.
And girls become ladies. That's for sure. So, Deuce, we got about a minute and a half left. What do you want to tell the people out there? They're all curious. Where's Deuce been? We haven't seen him on your show lately. I said, hold on, we're going to get him at college. So, what do you want to leave the audience with?
Well, I want to say have a good day and a great day. And also, make sure to check it around once in a while, because there are going to be some new impressions in the near future if you're lucky.
All right. Well, there you go. So, Miss Jade, you deal with all kinds of personalities at college. I'm sure you have some soft-spoken and some like Deuce that wants to conquer the world and wants to do his own gaming shows. Has he ever done voices for you, Miss Jade?
He hasn't yet. I have heard that it's coming, but he hasn't done them. Not yet.
Hey, so Deuce, can you give her a Russian accent?
Goodness.
All right, I will try to do it. My voice is not technically working right now.
Okay.
I'll try to do it.
Okay.
How you doing, Mr. Trade? My name is Stanley Standpoint, and I'm hoping to make a date fairly good.
Oh my goodness. That's good. That was good.
Thank you.
Deuce is breaking out his show in college. I want to thank Miss Jade. Thank you so much for taking your time on your busy schedule. And Deuce,
Absolutely.
It's great to see you again. And I guess we're going to see you again next week with a whole nother line of questioning, right?
That's right, sir.
All right. Thank you all both. Miss Jade, keep up the great work. Nice meeting you on TV here. And once again, there you see him, Deuce Luke and Miss Jade at the UL Life program. We'll see you on another episode of The Deuce is Loose.
In a world of silence, there's a different kind of language, autism, a unique puzzle that brings its own beautiful picture. Where others see a blank canvas, they see boundless creativity. Each day, they awaken with purpose and determination. Their minds are a vast universe, exploring countless subjects with passion. Deuce Luke said it best when he said,
Autism is not a disability, it's a different ability.
just like a seed becomes a magnificent tree, they too blossom into something extraordinary. Embrace the beauty of their world. Learn more about autism. Visit Understand Autism for more information. That's www.understandautism.org. You can also find help by calling 800-3-AUTISM. That's 1-800-328-8476. Thank you for watching The Deuce is Loose here on HTV10.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.